All right, Billy, thanks so much for joining us. First of all, how surreal is it for you to be part of a simulator golf league that's co-founded by one of your boyhood idols in Tiger Woods? That's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, listen, I mean, anything to be associated with Tiger um, is an amazing thing. Listen, I grew up looking up to him and trying to, emulate some of the things he did and the way he went about playing the game of golf. So yeah, listen, Tiger is a standard in the game of golf nowadays. But to be associated with him and be a part, of this new high tech league that we have. I could never imagine growing up as a kid, um, that I was going to be involved in something that makes you feel like you're part of your Atlanta Falcons player running out into the stadium at Mercedes-Benz Stadium right about to play, and that's what I associated with when I was down here a couple weeks ago for the first time and looking at it and feeling and seeing the 5-story screen and the video boards, your name going around and the music playing, the lights and everything. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm a professional athlete, whether it be in NFL, MLB, hockey, basketball. We're running out into this arena, and I'm going to play in this, arena, the stadium style atmosphere. Could never imagine that, you know, golf was going to take me here.
Now, I watched you walk out to your walk-up song. You really leaned into it, as I would expect you to do. You seem to understand exactly what it's going to take to make this product work. I think the line that I use is, if he had 24 Billy Horschels, then yes, it would be entertaining, because you understand that you can go out and play good golf, but you also need to be out on stage. You need to be entertaining the fans. Do you think the other players, and again, I'm not talking about you, but do you think all 24 understand that?
I think they do. Obviously, it's been related to us. Whether, for me, I knew right away what needed to be done for, from us as players to be successful. And, but it's been relayed to us on multiple occasions that it falls on our shoulders. And I truly believe that now. After seeing the arena they built, seeing the golf, the holes they created, everything, on that side, it falls on us to be entertainers. And I got a great question earlier that I thought was pretty good. And the question was, I think it went along the lines of how much on the PGA Tour are you focusing on also the competitive and the entertainment side on the PGA Tour, and what is it here? And I think when you're on the PGA Tour, you're so much more in the competitive side, playing great golf, trying to win tournaments, and that turns into great entertainment value. Think about the U.S. Open, Bryce and Rory. They weren't trying to be entertainers; they were trying to win a golf tournament, and it was compelling because they were being competitive, trying to win a historic golf event, and that turned into great entertainment. This is going to be different. We're still going to be competitive. We still want to win. Last thing you want to do is give bragging rights to someone like Tiger, who we all know can put the needle in to you at any given point. But we have to be more, leaning into the entertainment side, show more of ourselves that people won't get to see when they're on the PGA Tour. Be vulnerable a little bit and not afraid to say certain things that, may come off, may rub your playing competitor that you're playing against wrong. Like, it's okay if you say, like, Wyndham Clark hitting that tee shot on that one hole. Hey, Wyndham, don't wipe it right like you did at LACC on 18, because this fairway is only 30 yards wide instead of 70 on that hole. It's like, that's okay. Like, that's going to be fun. Like, listen, some viewers may not like that, but I think that's what the viewers want to see. They want to see what they would see playing with their buddies on the weekend at their local club. What is going to be said between us? They want to hear. They want something similar that they said between their buddies at their local club on the weekend.
Billy, like as a player, how will you gauge if this thing is successful? Like if you have fun and you're doing the dirty bird after you make birdies, if it's not inconvenient to your typical PGA Tour playing schedule, if the ratings are good, if a lot of money is being wagered on the action, like as a player, how will you sort of determine whether this was a positive experience for you or not?
Well, I'm going to sit here right now and say it's going to be positive. I don't. Whatever happens, happens. Like, I'm excited. I know for me, I'm going to enjoy this entire experience. Um, I will say I've been practicing the Dirty Bird, the dance, because I listen. You brought it up, and I'm not going to mention. I wasn't going to mention it, but yes, there may be
Jamal
a Dirty
Anderson,
Bird dance.
baby. Those are the
Exactly,
great years.
Jamal Innocence, exactly. So, but I think when you look at it, we are in a perfect spot. We're primetime TV on ESPN. We're going to have a great viewership. We're going to have a mixture of hardcore golf fans, the recreational golf fans, and you're going to have a mixture of people who haven't been, around the game of golf or have never watched golf. They're going to see it in a different light, which I hope makes them, take up the game of golf. Whether it means they go to the local, bar or restaurant that has a simulator and they hit golf balls in there and take up the game that way, and then maybe it leads to the golf course. I don't know, but just getting people in the game of golf is always been my main goal. Over the last several decades, because I think it's such a great game. But I think, listen, viewership is going to be huge. That's how we rate a lot of things. As the viewership's there, that means we are a success. Obviously, we have the gambling aspect of it, the wagering. I think that's another aspect of it. Listen, I'm not a big fan of gambling by any means, but it's another way. That's where the world's going, and people like to wager on things, and so there's probably a small percentage, if that's successful, that also leads to success. But I think it's along the lines of, if the players do what we should do and be entertainers and really play into that entertainment value and show who we are, like just be who you are. You may have to, turn the volume up a little bit more, like a Cam Young and a Patrick Cantlay. They may have to turn up the dial a little bit to be, a little bit more than they are comfortable being. But I think just, that will lead to ultimately the league being successful.
Now, I want to circle back around to this idea of trash talking, and you actually had a good one at Ricky Fowler. It was a little subtle. He didn't want to hit a particular bunker shot because it was sort of aiming towards the media folks, and you said it's nice of you to spare them. And he said something about, I've always been a friend of the media, and you said yes, you absolutely have. Who do you, in part of this league, are you looking forward the most to talking trash to? Is it someone that gives it right back to you? Is it someone who might be quiet?
Listen, I'm not great at like the one line dingers, like the zingers right off the way. Like JT is really good at that. Like if something's said to me, like, and there's sometimes I can be really quick witted. Like the Ricky thing where he said, well, the media's always been great to me. I'm like, yeah, you've been, you can't do anything wrong. I mean, I wanted to go a step further and said, you could be like Trump and you could shoot somebody down Fifth Avenue. And you could do that. You could shoot a media member and they still love you. Like, you've got so much goodwill on your side, it's not going to change. But yeah, I think to me, like, you guys know me the best, and I pretty much say what I think, and sometimes it gets me in trouble, and sometimes it doesn't. And so I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to enjoy this a lot. I think showing. Listen, I think people, when they see me on the golf course, see me really competitive. Obviously, I got a lot of fire. I think sometimes people don't see, through the TV, how much enjoyment I do have on the golf course, and I'm enjoying the round of golf, and how much I'm, interacting with the players and the caddies and the fans out there. So this, at least for me, shows people that this is who I am every day. You just don't get to see it because the camera only shows your shots. They don't show your entire 4.5, 5 hour round and what you do in between golf shots, what you talk about in between shots and everything.
It's an interesting point, Billy, because like I don't know if you watched the showdown on Tuesday night between the PGA Tour and Live, and like one of the criticisms of that was wow, this is too serious. Like where's the personality? Where's the banter? Where's the controversy? And the TGL format obviously is geared heavily towards the lighter side, the quick quips and some laughs. But at the same time, you said that a Patrick Cantlay, a Cam Young need to turn up the notch a little. Is there a risk in forcing guys who are not extroverted to be so on camera, and then it becomes almost gimmicky or inauthentic to who these guys really are? In other words, is it fair as golf fans to expect these guys to be more than just golfers and be both a golfer, entertainer, Arnold Palmer-esque character as well?
Listen, not everyone is born with the competitive and entertainment side like the Arnold Palmers and Lee Trevinos. Not everyone's built that way. That's a God-given fact. And I do believe we do need to be, have authenticity in, trying to be entertainers. But listen, Cam Young isn't going to start talking, right away when no one else is talking. But there's ways to get him involved. Cam's been on tour now. If you start having a conversation with him, he'll start talking. He'll start, opening up and everything. So Cam's not going to just all of a sudden start being me out of the blue and having conversations and out of the when no one else is talking and go this way or that way. But if you engage him, he will be engaging. And Patrick Cantlay's the same way. Patrick's obviously a little more open. Obviously, he's we all know he's very smart and very opinionated on things. But I think when you engage him, he opens up and he becomes more engaging. So I think there's things that we can do as teammates and as fellow competitors to make those players that aren't natural in that aspect of being engaging comfortably right away. You can help them out by sort of opening up that door for them to walk through.
I felt like the arena that I saw for the first time today was like a bright and shiny tour that you open up on Christmas morning. You've had a chance to see it a couple of times now. What do you like the most, and what are you looking forward to the most when it comes to the matches?
I think the music, I think the lights, I think feeling like I'm an actual, another athlete in another sport, walking out, being in the field of play with everyone around you, with the fans, being interactive, you feeling the energy, feeling the tension, feeling, just the excitement that they have. You're going to have the music playing, we're going to have our own certain songs that are played. I think that entire thing is just going to be so cool. And then at the same time, I don't know if it was mentioned to you guys, but literally right where we sit, right behind us, are going to be the owners' suites. So we're going to have our owners of our teams and clubs we represent right behind us. So imagine, listen, every athlete or every other athlete in their sport knows the owners are sitting up in a box, but they're away from field of play. They're right behind us. I mean, that's another thing. You want to do well not only for the guys you're playing with, but for your owners and the club you're representing, the team you're representing. So, I mean, it just plays into another aspect of, it's still going to be massively competitive, but we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. And I think it's just, like I said, I think when you're inside the arena, you're going to feel the excitement. I think the fans it's going to be natural for them because they're going to feel like they're at, like I said, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They're going to feel like they're at Fenway. They're going to want to, just be the way they are there compared to what they are at a PGA Tour event where they got to be more reserved. They got to be quiet more often. They only get excited when great golf shots are hit or putts are hold. Like they're going to be talkative. They're going to, you can feel the energy throughout the 2 hours of the match.
Billy, can you explain some of the logistics with this in terms of why you playing on Atlanta instead of playing in New York? How is this going to fit into your regular tournament schedule? When are you actually going to play? I think it's been a little bit confusing for golf fans how it's all going to be rolled out. Can you explain from your perspective, what your spring and late winter is actually going to look like?
Yeah. So, when this was, brought to me in 22, obviously they told us the time of window they were going to have it, when it was the best chance for it to succeed, when there was, when football wasn't going on, when baseball hasn't started back up yet. Really, it was only basketball and hockey, and there was a window there on Mondays and Tuesdays where there was no sports, and there was an opportunity for it to be filled. And so when it came down to scheduling, majority of the players know where they're going to play, and so they try to work it out where it made it the best and logistically for the guys to have matches on those sites. Listen, some guys that may not work entirely perfectly for them, they may have to fly back from the West Coast and then fly back to a tournament, or they may be here at home in the East Coast and then fly out to the tournament afterwards. But they've done a really good job of trying to make it work. We're going to adjust. We travel all around the world. It's nothing that we haven't done before. So listen, till the first 5 weeks of the season or 4 weeks, we're out on the West Coast, and then once we come back to the East Coast, it's really easy for majority of guys that live here, in the Southeast, especially in Florida. And then the team-wise, they went out there and found people that wanted to be a part of this. They knew they wanted to, the best way to build a brand or build, excitement and sort of the fans being a part of something is making teams out of cities and teams. And so the fans can feel like they're part of something, they're actually part of that team in their city. And so they obviously the investors and the owners of these clubs are where they are located. Obviously, Arthur Blank being in Atlanta makes total sense. Arthur Blank's not going to own a team in Vegas, but he's going to own Atlanta because he has Atlanta Falcons, he has Atlanta United. He's been in Atlanta for a long time. for 30, 40 years almost. So he has that already, those connections, and the fans can hopefully, if we play well and with everything else we're going to do, connect the Atlanta Falcons and Atlanta United with the Atlanta Drive Golf Club going forward, so we can bring in that fan base that those clubs already have, bring it to the Atlanta Drive immediately, so we get that support and that excitement around our club.
Okay, before we let you go, I wanted to switch gears really quick just because it's been a bit of a newsy week. And there was one question I wanted to ask you, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to it, though. But the PGA of America announced on Monday that they are going to start paying players on the Ryder Cup team. It's going to be $300,000 to charity, $200,000 as a stipend. Do you feel like this was something that needed to be done?
My pockets don't need to be filled to play a team competition. I'm very happy to play one without having money in my pocket. Now, does it need to be done? I don't know. I don't worry about that. Listen, I played one team competition. It was a President's Cup team. We got X amount of dollars that we could use in how we saw fit. Majority of the time, every player gives it to charity. That's what they do, and that's what's always been done and always been set up. So, that's with this more money, it doesn't make me want to play a team any more than what I already did. I think if that's what the PGA America saw fit and that's what they want to do, so be it. But like I said, I'm very happy to be a part of the Ryder Cup team and not get 1 cent from it.
Billy, we had many more questions about reunification, pathways back, the new PGA Tour CEO. But I guess we'll find you on the range early in 2025.
Like I said, you guys know where I'm at, and you guys know I can't stop talking. So and I always share my opinions on it. So yeah.
we always appreciate you hopping on with us. Have a great holiday. Look forward to seeing you at Kapalua to start the new year.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
And on a PGA Tour range soon.
Have a Merry Christmas. See you guys in New Year.
Thank you, Billy.
See ya.